I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. And the voice I hear falling on my ears, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. It's early Friday morning and I'm taking a look around my food forest and I just noticed that my turnip greens are getting ready to bolt. I have limited garden space and also a small window where I could grow some things, some groceries that won't bolt when we start getting triple-digit temperatures here in North Texas. So I probably said this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. I've been growing food in my backyard for 31 years. So I kind of know and can identify when something is getting ready to bolt. So I'm going to pull up these turnip greens, I'm going to cook them, and I'm going to share with you an update on how my patty pan squash is doing. And these are some seeds that I froze for over 10 years, okay? And I'll talk a little bit more about it live when I do my weekly Monday night chat. Okay, let's get started. I've had a lot of people ask me about my patty pan squash that I'm growing from seeds that I stored for over 10 years. And they are doing great. As you can see here, there's a lot of squash on this bush type vine. It's taken over this elevated raised garden bed. I have some basil here and a few zinnias that are heirloom zinnias. And yeah, this plant, let me step back and show you. Oh, the basil. Oh, it smells so good, guys. So let me just step back and let you see how beautifully this patty pan bush squash plant is doing. I'm gonna go around on the other side so you can see it from that angle. Yeah, so look how huge the leaves are. I could put three of my hands, and still have room on this leaf. And I didn't have to pollinate anything because I plant things in my raised garden beds to attract pollinators. So you can see, wow, look how big this one is. If I can lift it up, I don't want to break it. That's beautiful. We'll be eating that one soon because I like them when they're smaller. I like them tender. Yep. I'm very excited about my garden this year. Well, I get excited every year, guys. Okay, so that's my patty pan squash. And right here, what you're looking at is a little sunburn. It's probably from the neem oil. I usually tell people don't spray it when temperatures exceed 85 degrees, but I think I'm going to change that and say maybe 80 degrees, especially with wind gust. That can make a difference too. Look at this leaf way down there. It's just so pretty. It's just so beautiful. It's such a wonderful feeling to take a tiny seed, freeze it for over 10 years, put it on your counter, let it acclimate to room temperature, and then start that seed. Here's some more zinnias, heirloom zinnias, right down in there. Okay, I'm gonna take you on a tour of the food forest real soon, but I just had to share that with you. Now let me show you how I'm gonna cook this these turnips. I didn't make any footage that I can use of the turnips getting ready to bolt, and that's because I did a 16-second video on it in YouTube Studio Maker and I couldn't save it. But that video is up and I will put it in the description box. But what I want to share with you is this. You see this basil? You see it's getting ready to bolt. It is bolting, and this will form seeds. The same thing is happening right here and right here. And you will know, the more you grow, the more you know. And that's what was happening to my turnips. I'm sorry I couldn't show a close-up, but it's very similar to this action that's going on here. Let me show you. It'll start growing real tall in the center with big gaps between the leaves, and that's how you know it's getting ready to bolt. Okay? So my basil is going to bolt. Now, what you can do is pinch off the beginning of the seed pod, like I just did here, and that'll buy you a little bit more time, but it's still going to bolt. And by the way, you still can cook with this. It'll still have that beautiful aroma, oh Lord, that basil has. And I will start dehydrating some of this, and I can also propagate it. I'll share that with you in another video. Just so that we're clear, let me show you in another container how the basil is bolting and going to seed. I will let this stay here and collect these flowers. Hey guys, I made a short video about why I harvested all of my turnip greens and roots, and that is because temperatures are getting close to 90 degrees. And what you see here is what I'm going to put in the compost. Nothing goes to waste. Then I will amend this soil, probably just some worm castings, and plant something here. And I'll come back and I'll show you. Okay. After I thoroughly rinse the greens a couple times, I don't have to wash them over and over because I'm an organic gardener. I just take them and put them on the cutting board and cut them up, and then put them in the pot. The greens with 2 smoked turkey legs. They're small. They're not real big. And I don't know if I said this already. I'm going to say it again. I only add 1/2 cup of water because you guys know that the greens are going to make a lot of water. So I need to tell you that I am mixing a couple of red, actually call them Japanese red mustards. They look kind of purplish. My mother cooked them like that, and so I like to mix mine up too. So I'm cooking mustards and turnips. Okay, last but not least, I diced up some of the smaller turnips, and I'm putting them in the pot. And you don't have to peel the small ones, so some of them have the peels on. They're real tender. And the other thing I want to say is at this time you want to add your seasoning. I'm not adding any. There is seasoning in the smoked turkey legs, and it has salt in it. And because of my condition that I have to keep my blood pressure stabilized, I don't add any salt in my food. But feel free to do so if you desire salt. But keep in mind, there's a lot of salt in the turkey legs. Okay, so I'm going to let this come to a boil. Then I'm going to turn it down and let it cook for about 20 minutes. I don't cook my greens until they're real mushy. I like them just a little crunchy. You know, I was raised with people that cook greens. My mother, grandmother, they cooked them all day and just made them real mushy. I don't like them like that. Okay? So I'll come back in a half an hour and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, guys, it's been like 15 minutes that this has been simmering, and I'm going to test out the turnip by just pushing this spoon down on it, and you can see they're almost tender, and you need to take that into consideration too. Now, let me say this. If I was cooking a whole lot of greens, I would pre-boil my turkey legs. But because I'm only cooking a small amount, and I'm not going to be eating all this turkey with these greens, that's why I cook them all at the same time. Okay, so I don't care about it getting real tender. Okay? But you can look at some of my other videos where I share with you how I cook turkey wings, turkey legs with my greens, and how I pressure can them. I'll put links to those videos in the description box. So please keep in mind, I don't want to cook this till the meat is falling off of the bone. I just want the flavor in here. Okay? Because I'm going to save this for something else, and I'll share it with you. Okay, guys, so that's the final look of my turnips, root, and greens, along with a few Japanese red mustard. Now, this turkey leg was robbed. My son came over and helped himself, but that's okay. That's why I cook all this food, so that when they do come over, they can have some nice food, healthy food. But you can see that the greens are not cooked to death, okay? And the turnip is nice and soft. Okay, so all I need to do is make some cornbread tomorrow, and this will be good to go. All right. Here are my 2 mimosa trees. They are tall, guys. They haven't produced any flowers yet, but I inserted some pictures so I can share with you what they're going to look like. This tree grows over 3 feet every year, and I've been growing them from seeds for about 3 years. And I'm hoping that they bloom flowers this year. But if not this year, it'll be the next year. I started 2 more trees by seeds. And one lucky winner will receive that tree sapling if they win the contest on Monday night, when I have my weekly live chat where I answer all of your questions to the best of my ability. So I'm going to be giving away one of those little baby trees away. And who knows? It could be you. Tune in Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. So here are the mimosa trees that I started growing from seeds in January. You can see it's 2 beautiful little saplings. The leaves sometimes close up a little bit during the night, and then they'll open up more during the daytime when the sun comes out. And the sun isn't up yet. It's coming up now. But anyway, I'm going to give this sapling away this Monday, tomorrow night, for anybody that is a subscriber and that can answer a question first in my live feed. That's tomorrow night, Monday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Somebody is going to win one of these trees, and I'll mail it to you, and you don't have to even send me anything for the postage. Make it a better Thanks for watching. Bye now. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.